A week after Sydney FC booked their place alongside champions Melbourne City in the group stage of the Asian Champions League. Now we have 90, perhaps 120 minutes to see whether FFA Cup winners Melbourne Victory can complete the triumvirate of A-League teams in the continent's top club competition. Compared to Victory's 8 previous continental campaigns, 4 A-League championships and 2 cups, tonight's opponents could be considered inexperienced at this level. But backed as they are by e-commerce giant Rakuten, Japan's Amazon, and featuring one of the best midfielders of the modern era in World Cup winner Andres Iniesta, the home side Vissel Kobe no doubt start favourites in this playoff match to make the knockout stages and the group stage rather of the Asian Champions League. There is a look at Atsuhiro Miura's starting 11, and unless you are fluent in Japanese, it won't mean that much to you. Look out for numbers 8, 6 and 10. They're all returning to the side, and you should know who they are, football fans that you are. Andres Iniesta, the captain, wears the number 8. Japan international, played against Australia in their World Cup qualifier in Saitama. Yuyo Osako returns to the starting 11 as well, wearing the number 10, and former Barcelona midfielder Sergi Samper is there in the middle of the park as well. 5 changes made by Atsuhiro Miura from the side that lost 2-0 to the Kashima Antlers last time out. For Melbourne Victory, 4 changes for Tony Popovic's side, who have found their feet after a rough run after their cup win. A first start of the season for Matt Acton in goal, while it looks like it will be a 5 at the back. Matthew Sporanovic coming into the side, returning from quad injury, and also Raymond Marchand in the middle of the park wearing the number 4. He's been out since the Big Blue, where he broke his eye socket and cheekbone in a head clash with his own fullback Jason Guerria. Chris Economides also returns to the side. There's no Ivan Keleva or Francesco Margiotta on the bench due to the 3 foreigner rule in the Champions League. So with Keleva missing, Marko Bulic comes in for his first appearance on the bench this season as well. Well, Tony Popovic knows what it takes to play in Japan. He spent 4 seasons at Sanfrecce Hiroshima. He also knows what it takes to win the Champions League. He did it with Western Sydney back in 2014. But any thoughts of inexperience in this Vissel Kobe side? They've only played once before in the Asian Champions League. They just happened to make it all the way to the semi-finals in Andres Iniesta's second season. They finished 3rd last year, though, in the J-League, their highest ever finishing position. It's a far cry from the 4 championships in Australia for Melbourne Victory. But you can see in this 30,000-seater stadium, they will be buoyed by their home support. So many links between Japanese and Australian football. The national teams will meet in a crucial World Cup qualifier in just over a week's time. And take this as a little curtain raiser. The stage is set. The winner of this one will move into Group J in the Champions League alongside Shanghai Port, host team Chiang Rai United of Thailand, and Hong Kong's Kichi as well. The games to be played in the second half of April. 6 matches in 2 weeks in a hub for the Champions League to get through the competition, and we're all set for a start now in the Misaki Park Stadium. Our referee this evening is Hana Hatab of Syria. The countdown is on. Everyone ready? And after Sydney FC trounced Kaya FC to book their place in the group stage of the Asian Champions League, the A-League men's competition's third team, courtesy of their victory in the FFA Cup, Melbourne Victory, have a chance to join them and the champions Melbourne City in the group stage of Asia's premier club competition. But it's not an easy one, Andy Harper, against a side that finished third in the J-League last year, have some experience at this level, having made the semi-finals 2 years ago, and of course featuring a couple of very handy Spaniards in the centre of the park.
Yeah, and some big-time Japanese national team players as well. It's a very strong squad for Vissel Kobe, although their J-League season hasn't started particularly well.
And they are straight onto the front foot early here. There is Osako, and it was Raima Shan getting a foot in there.
But if Melbourne Victory can overcome this hurdle, and we certainly hope they can, it'll mark quite a remarkable turnaround to have finished bottom of the league last year, emerged to win the cup and earn the right for this playoff, and then in the playoff having to beat the third place team on last year's measure from the strongest league in Asia. It'd be quite remarkable for Melbourne Victory to achieve that. They're in pretty good nick coming into this one.
They are, having won 2 and drawn their last game, Melbourne Victory. As here is the first touch of the football for Iniesta towards Davidson, who's dispossessed there by Nakasaka, rather. Samper, touchback. There's the Japan international Yamaguchi. 48 international caps for the number 5. Andy Harper mentioned the quality of their Japan internationals as well. There's no Yoshinori Muto, who came in this season along with Osako. He's out injured. Those two coming in to find the goals after the departed Kyogo Furuhashi, who left, of course, to join up with Ange Postecoglou at Celtic. They haven't started this J-League season in the best possible way. 3 draws and 3 losses from their opening 6 games. They currently sit 17th out of 18 in the J-League standings. And it's Sergi Samper, who started the first 3 and has been on the bench for the last 3, who's down there holding his right knee. You could hear a pin drop inside the stadium because Samper looks like he's in some discomfort there. There's the touch, and he's done it all on his own, catching Nick D'Agostino by the looks of things, and it's always a little bit more serious when you do it by yourself, isn't it, Andy?
It's often the innocuous ones, which are the problem ones, and the crowd all with bated breath. I'm happy to see the Spaniard retake his feet.
Number of changes in this side. Samper is one of them. Kobayashi at the back, wearing the number 3 shirt. Now Ikura, who started none of the first 4 matches. Perhaps Coach Miura, feeling a change in goal, could try and spark a change in results. It hasn't happened so far. They've lost and drawn their next 2 matches, in which Ikura found himself between the posts, starting his 3rd match in a row. One in the air by Roderick Miranda for Melbourne Victory, Andy. First time we've seen them play with 3 at the back this season. Is that away from home? A little bit conservative from Tony Popovic?
I'm not sure if conservative's the word. It's mind you, we're probably splitting hairs with these descriptions. It's certainly watchful, and there's a measure of caution with it. But I don't think they'll be conservative per se, because by that I sort of assume that, or would interpret that there's not going to be any forward play. Let's just sit and hang on. So I think it's built to respect the quality that you're facing, but I'm expecting them to not just try and survive this Melbourne Victory.
I guess a lot will depend on how the fullbacks play and the way they can animate the flanks for the moment. They are sitting deep enough with Geria and Davidson on the right and left. Geria, who also has plenty of experience of Japanese football, as it's Oda who gets the ball in towards Iniesta. Clever little touch. And back in, and Marchand clears only as far as Iniesta again. And the man that scored the winning goal at the 2010 World Cup strikes early here. 6 minutes in, and Victory behind. And it's the Vissel Kobe captain, the man that everyone's been talking about, Andres Iniesta, who fires the home side in front.
Well, on a couple of occasions now, Melbourne Victory have just found the sheer speed of some of their opponents too much. And when the break comes down the left, Iniesta's touch to open the attack was beautiful. But Victory's defending was really nervous, really standoffish, lacked conviction. And they were punished severely 6 minutes in. One of the great players of his generation. It's safe to say Andres Iniesta makes it 1-0 for Vissel Kobe.
And having missed the last 6 matches through injury with that fractured eye socket and cheekbone, Rai Marchand back into the starting 11, but it was his touch that just laid the ball on for that left-footed strike from Iniesta.
I mean, the turn from Oda, left edge of the penalty area, surrounded by Victory players, turned without trouble and then sprinted into space with no one really feeling they could foot it with him or close the space down. So the cross comes in uncontested. Iniesta, as you called it, Robbie, with that beautiful presence of mind, just easing the ball off to his right. And Victory's defence just never reconciled. They just never looked safe, nervous, missed clearances. A bit like the deer in the headlights, unfortunately for them.
A worst possible start. Osako, a fine player, Japan international in his own right there as well. 25 international goals for his country in 57 caps. Like so many of this side and so many Japanese players, Bundesliga experience as well. Quality footballers. Mind you, this Victory side does have weapons of their own. And certainly came here confident of causing an upset, like they did a couple of years ago to qualify for the Champions League group stage when they knocked off the Kashima Antlers, who'd won the competition 2 years before. Now, Brimmer's ball in. The header away is a good one by Osako. Spiranovic. Played for Urova Red Diamonds, and that's a nice little pass for Economides. Just couldn't run onto it. Brillante, who took a knock on the head there, a clash of heads. At the back with Kikuchi, but he is back in the middle of the park. Samper starting things moving forward. Geria with a good foot in there, and it's Kobayashi all the way back for Ikura. 5-2-3 for Victory. The way they're lining up with Marchand and Brillanti. Oh, and that's a flag is up for offside. But it was nearly another gifted opening for Vissel Kobe. There's no lack of experience, an Asian experience in this Victory side. Brendan Hamill and Sporanovic both won this competition under coach Tony Popovich with the Western Sydney Wanderers in 2014. Geria played 57 times and scored 4 goals for Jeff United. The right back for Victory. Brillanti. Brimmer, that's a lovely touch from Brimmer for Geria. And it's Iniesta across in cover. First corner of the match for Melbourne Victory.
A good nerve settler for Victory. Beautiful touch from Brimmer and nice forceful work from Jason Geria. Iniesta there to cover up, 38 years of age. He's been in Japan for a number of years now, must be obviously enjoying it.
Davidson's ball in is a good one, and surely the goal, and Victory are level. Now, is it D'Agostino? There are a couple of players in there. Well, the first goal wasn't good defending from Melbourne Victory. That wasn't well defended by Vissel Kobe. And Victory take full advantage. Ikura's not happy about some contact in there.
No, he thinks there's a foul inside the 6-yard box. Well, Hamill's jumped. Goalkeepers often come off second best. Was there a hand there from D'Agostino as well? Any rate, it was poor defending from Vissel Kobe. And quite remarkably, and thankfully, Melbourne Victory find themselves back level.
And as you can see there on the graphics, 12th minute, Nick D'Agostino.
Very quick learner, Robbie.
Well, he has been finding the back of the net. That's his 4th goal in 3 matches now for Nick D'Agostino, who's got 7 in the Isuzu Ute A-League men's competition. Marchand, good challenge. Oh, D'Agostino, there was some forward momentum there. Long from Davidson, who's got Japanese heritage as well. The Socceroo. Alan Davidson, his dad, mum,
I think,
was Japanese.
I believe so. And Jason, of course, spent a lot of time as a teenager in Japan learning his football.
Oh, what a purple patch it is for Nick D'Agostino. And great character from Victory, because just before that, Andy, you said they had settled things, settled a few nerves because it was a nervy start. Here come Vissel Kobe again. Ball driven in. Davidson wins it in the air. D'Agostino has done well, looking for Economides. Roderick Miranda gives the ball up with Iniesta again. Yamaguchi wide on the left with Sakai. Overlapping run from Yamaguchi. And the flag up for offside. He was a key member, Yamaguchi, of that Vissel Kobe run to the semi-finals 2 years ago. Oh, now, is that a back pass? No, says our Syrian referee. Certainly didn't look intentional. Off Kikuchi. Sakai back again with Kobayashi. Kobayashi, Samper, who never really made a name for himself at Barcelona after coming through the youth academy there. He did play 7 first-team matches, most of them alongside a certain Andres Iniesta. Before heading off on loan, he actually played with Ivan Keleva at Granada in Spain. Id Samper also played for Las Palmas in the Canary Islands. Acton, who's playing his first match for Victory since a 1-1 draw in the Melbourne Derby last June. Oh, as Marchand has given it away again. Foul by Spiranovic.
Actually, the worst offenders for Victory not being able to settle are the two of the imports. Marchand just giving that one up. Miranda's had a couple of balls cleared out by the Vissel Kobe defence to him. He's miscontrolled or headed it straight back. It's where you need these guys to be able to kill the ball, control the game, instead of bounce it straight back to the oncoming opposing players. The pressure's going to be enough.
Certainly the idea of Tony Popovic as well, because he's brought Marchand straight back into the side as soon as he's fit again.
A bit short of a gallop, obviously, because of that horrible facial injury, but still.
But he's there to provide that workmanlike presence and also calm and composed element in the middle of the park, which he has shown in the A-League this term. Iniesta's ball to the back post, headed back across the face of goal, and the flag is up for offside. The referee's assistant. Heartbreak for Yuki Kobayashi, but a good result for Victory. There is VAR here today, by the way, and that looks
really close. Very,
very close with Miranda.
But all the Victory players were drawn to the ball in a line and have dodged a big one there. There's no one had the wherewithal to check for an oncoming midfielder or a player through the midfield. It was a thumping finish.
Superb technique with the left foot. It was Kikuchi with the header back. Here he is, Kobayashi. Hikura. Nearly 69% possession. 18 minutes in favour of the home side. Samper, who's playing in midfield, but when his side have the ball, he drops back to create 3 at the back and push the fullbacks high up the pitch. Here he is again. And creates a bit of space in midfield as well. Yamaguchi alongside Iniesta. You can see Marchand and Brillante working hard to close down space in the middle of the park. Oda came off the bench against the Antlers in that 2-0 loss on Friday night. It's given away cheaply again by D'Agostino that time. Economides staying forward. Here's Samper. Iniesta can't get past Geria. He had Nakasaka ahead of him there. Samper.
His wave to the flag, the sideline. Samper's had enough. He's got some problem with that knee.
Yeah, can't continue. Well, let's hope that's nothing too serious. There is another Spaniard in this squad. Goes by the name of Bojan Krikic. Very famous name, youngest ever Barcelona first team player. There's how he did it. Just catching Nick D'Agostino. Krikic is not in the squad today. It's the Brazilian Lincoln who is on the bench. Yet to score his first goal for Vissel Kobe. And coming into the game is the number 33, Takahiro Ogihara, who is another ex-Yokohama F. Marinos player and another with plenty of experience as well, just the one international cap for Japan.
What are we to read out of these player changes? That all the time Ange was coaching at Yokohama Marinos, all he wanted was Kyogo from Vissel, and all Vissel wanted was two of his players.
Well, certainly after Kyogo left, they have spent big last summer. It's an incredibly ambitious club, and this would be a huge blow for them, make no mistake, if they fail to qualify for the group stages of the Champions League. Well, this is nicely done. Economides. And Yamaguchi can't keep it in play. Tony Popovic did have a little bit of inside information here, Andy Harper, via his assistant coach, Luke Tranny, who did some work a couple of seasons ago during the off-season of the A-League with Pascoe Vale down in Melbourne, who happened to have their very own Japanese analyst, who's now working with Shimizu S-Pulse, having spent 2 seasons as an analyst and technical staff member with Vissel Kobe. And so the Victory staff have been in contact with Misuki to get all the lowdown and try and analyze this side and any weaknesses they have that can be exploited. They've done plenty of homework. They've prepared this contest. Guerilla with D'Agostino. First touch just got away from him a little. Here's Marchand. Ooh. Strange one there from Chris Economides. Mizuki Moriwaki, which plenty of MPL fans down in Melbourne will almost certainly recognize, and the name for his time down there.
It was unfortunate that last attack broke down with the rather inexplicable handball from Chris Economides. It was outside of the goal they'd got, which was from that corner. It was the best passage of play that Melbourne had come up with. A sequence of passes that got them upfield and in behind Vissel Kobe's structure.
Yamaguchi. It's a straight swap with Ogihara, playing that Samper role at the base of midfield. Here he is on the left foot. A long way out.
Very loose. And Andres the Great was not happy. Taking up a position on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Just coming into frame there. That was really wasteful. Wayward from Ogihara,
who scored 1 goal a season under Ange Postecoglou at Yokohama F. Marinos. Do own goals count, I wonder, because he's already scored an own goal this year against Nagoya Grampus. Own goal 51st minute, red card 58th. First game with Vissel Kobe. not a great start in the crimson.
Got a bit of stick, the owner, for changing the colours from black and white to crimson, which was done in deference to his alma mater at the Harvard Business School.
Exactly. I think there's a Rakuten also own a baseball team that also play in crimson as well. As here goes D'Agostino. The no-look pass back inside for Brimmer. It was well played. Well, yellow cards are possibly a bit stiff, but I guess 4 fouls in 8 seconds is fabulous from Iniesta. Great awareness, great vision. Yamaguchi again. Ogihara, Sakai. Kobayashi. Ogihara into the midfield with Nakasaka, now Iniesta. Yamakawa. Iniesta, Ogihara. Iniesta again. Ogihara. It's nicely worked, his Oda. Good spell of possession this. Oh, and it's a fantastic ball over the top. It was a great run from Yutaro Oda. And they've won it straight back again. Sakai, Yamaguchi, Iniesta. Well, they have to try and keep the tabs on Iniesta, but it's not going to be easy, particularly if he just grows into the game like he is in the last 10 minutes or so. He's really starting to run the show for Vissel Kobe. Geria. Foul on Economides. Well, Victory will hopefully decide on where the ball will be for this free kick. Eventually it's Davidson who'll take. Brimmer, Brillante, closed down so quickly by Yutaro Oda. One of a couple of players to have come through the youth system at Vissel Kobe. One over the top. And Miranda across in cover because Speranovic was being left behind there by Osako. Kikuchi, Sakai.
Well, nervous start for Melbourne, but by and large I think they've been able to deal with that, with the added bonus of getting their goal and equalising. It's a very, very nervous opening few minutes, and of course they remain very cautious, as they must, because of the sheer quality playing against them. But there's just a lot more assuredness about them at the moment. Jake Brimmer is so important in games like this. Well, he's important generally, but he is one player who technically can match it with the best out of Asia. And as a result, a lot's expected of him tonight.
And that's a good ball for D'Agostino, who was so close to giving Victory the lead on the half hour.
Well, Economides turning nicely, but the deflected cross really plays in D'Agostino, who does well. He's a good header, but a really good save by Ikura. Reflex with the left hand. D'Agostino can't quite believe it hasn't gone into the back of the net.
Well, he is in great form at the moment. Referee coming to have a word to Geria. Davidson to deliver. Back post, it's into the dangerous area again. It was almost a carbon copy as Brillante shot this time at goal. It was blocked, and then Economides shoots high and wide of the mark.
Well, what a great...
Looking for the perfect Arvo snack? Grab a Macca's hamburger for just $2. Or get the legendary Chicken McBites for $3. Whatever you're snacking on, do it with Macca's best ever loose change menu.
Your kanji has become very good very quickly.
Ask and you shall receive. Andy Harper, here is Ikura. Sakai for Iniesta again. It's a clever little turn. Raimar Shan, who didn't get the chance to play against Iniesta during his time in Spain as a professional in the lower divisions, and mostly with second teams to help bring young players through, all part of the system in Spain. He's an excellent professional, Raimar Shan, but his most recent stint was in the third division with FC Andorra before arriving in Australia. Iniesta already in Japan by then. He's only started 2 matches this season out of the 6. Andres Iniesta, it's Yamaguchi, the number 5, that wears the captain's armband most of the time, at least most of the time this season. He is 37, of course, Andres Iniesta. Part of that simply stunning generation of Spanish players that won back-to-back Euros either side of the South Africa World Cup. Ogihara, Kobayashi, Osako has won the throw off Hamill. And Andy, apart from that opening goal from Andres Iniesta in the 6th minute, nearly all the chances that have come to fruition have come from set pieces so far in this contest. Here is Iniesta again with Oda. You can see plenty of movement. That's a good challenge, but there to take over again immediately is Sakai. He wanted it straight back. You don't need your central midfielder to drop back in between the 2 central defenders when your goalkeeper can do that job for you. Yutaro Oda now with Nakasaka. Iniesta, Sakai. Yamaguchi, it's blocked by Geria. 10 minutes to go in this first half. Victory weathered the early storm, came back into the contest, have had 2 great chances, scored one of them. 3 great chances, actually. 2 from a corner. And then that D'Agostino header. Even if it has been Vissel Kobe who have had more of the football. Geria. Well, Sakai wants some more running in the middle. Someone to aim for. Ogihara. Kikuchi. Yamakawa. Iniesta. Nicely done. Oda. Sakai. Ball in, can't get past Spiranovic. Kikuchi. Osako looking for that run in behind of Oda. Here he is again, the number 10 with Yamakawa. Osako. Well, they can play some attractive football, this Vissel Kobe side. One touch play, but Victory is staying organised. Victory are causing them problems of their own. They've played their way out of that little press from Jake Brimmer. Nobody really went with him. They like to stretch the game, Vissel Kobe. There's a big gap between the back defensive line and the forwards. Plenty of space in there for this kind of run from Osako. And now over the top for Oda. And Matt Acton clears only as far as Yamakawa. His cross back in. Hamill's header. Ogihara. Sakai. Finding Iniesta in space. Iniesta, how did he get that through the legs there, using Nakasaka as a little wall pass before going again. Drink bottles strategically placed all over the field. That's experience. Iniesta's ball. It was a good one. The header away by Spiranovic. Ogihara. Ogihara again plays deep to the box this time towards Osako and Kikuchi, who stayed forward. Ball back in. Geria's head up. Victory just starting to sit back 5 minutes before half-time. They're being pulled around from left to right. Oda. It's just the sheer patience of Vissel Kobe's build-up. Finding holes and then looking to exploit them.
Hanging on till half-time. It's sort of developing that air a little bit. Victory have very rarely been able to notch some passes together and take some pressure off and push Vissel Kobe back. They've looked good on a couple of occasions they have been able to do it, but really Not enough to sustain themselves, really, just.
Oda with Osako. Here's Marchand.
But despite the lack of possession and finding it difficult to get close enough to win the ball back, Matt Acton really yet to be tested outside of the first goal, which he couldn't get to. Some shaky defending in front of him, the Iniesta goal. But outside of that, Matt Acton's had to come out and clean up a couple of attacks with his feet. Hasn't had to save anything per se otherwise.
Ikura goes long, one in the air by Spiranovic. Marchand strong in the challenge on Sakai, but too strong for the referee's liking. Fantastic noise inside this stadium when the active support down behind that goal to our right really gets into swing. Capacity of 30,000. It was built for the 2002 World Cup, where it held 42,000. Was reduced afterwards as Vissel Kobe moved in. They were relegated in 2013, only spent 1 year in the second division before coming back up, and it's really been in the last 6 or 7 years that they've really tried to invest heavily in the team and build that ambition. They have the ambition of becoming the biggest club in Asia. They're not alone in that, but it is out there. Certainly they have the backing of the club owner, Hiroshi Mikitani. Two and a half minutes left in the first half. Davidson winning the header. Brimmer can only make sure it's out of play. Ikura with Ogihara. Kobayashi with Sakai, gets it back again, and demonstrative is our Sakai at left back.
Very happy today, is he? Exacting standards not being met.
Yellow card for Roderick Miranda. Jason Davidson also with the yellow. Here's Sakai. Iniesta into the area. It was past Brillante, but Hamill was there in cover. Kikuchi. Good ball for Sakai against Geria. Manages to get the ball in. It's cleared only as far as Iniesta again. Well, lessons need to be learnt. There's one player you must not give the ball to in the box like that. It's Andres Iniesta. He's already punished Victory once. Sakai again. It's a good ball. Osako down for Yutaro Oda. Sakai again, he sees a lot of the football. That's a lovely ball. Yamaguchi's run. He made that run from the right wing all the way across the field and then into the box. You can see Sergi Samper. 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. First half, Andy, dominated overall by the home side, but a goal for Victory and 2 great chances.
And apart from the goal they conceded, they've defended very well. You know, they've been well organised and patient. I'm sure they'll be buoyed by that, but they really do need, for their own mental health in the game as much as anything, to get some more of the ball. It can be a really tough 90 minutes if you just spend the whole time chasing.
Tony Popovic asking the question of the 4th official. They don't want to just run themselves into the ground, even if the prize for Victory here is a big one. The reward, a place in the group stage, which will require the rescheduling of another 3 Victory matches in the A-League men's competition. As it's over the top for Brimmer. Can't get there to keep it in play, though. But certainly the opportunity to play continental football and everything that goes with it. Cup football, so much riding on every result. They do have a Melbourne derby coming up this weekend as well, so they've got to travel back after the game. It'll be a 9-hour, more, 11-hour, 10-hour flight, a day's recovery, and then a Melbourne derby on Saturday night. Half-time in the Misaki Park Stadium, the home of 2019 Emperor's Cup winners Vissel Kobe, who went ahead through their Spanish captain Andres Iniesta, only for Nick D'Agostino to equalise 6 minutes later in the 12th minute. Half-time in this playoff match for the Asian Champions League. Vissel Kobe 1, A-League's Melbourne Victory 1.
Looking for the perfect Arvo snack? Grab a Macca's hamburger for just $2. Or get the legendary Chicken McBites for $3. Whatever you're snacking on, do it with Macca's best ever loose change menu.
Aussies need to keep going their own way. They can't
Looking for the perfect Arvo snack? Grab a Macca's hamburger for just $2. Or get the legendary Chicken McBites for $3. Whatever you're snacking on, do it with Macca's best ever loose change menu. Looking for the perfect Arvo snack? Grab a Macca's hamburger for just $2. Or get the legendary Chicken McBites for $3. Whatever you're snacking on, do it with Macca's best ever loose change menu.
まあここしかないなっていう気持ちで臨みました。優勝が目標だったので、ベスト4に満足してはないんで、今年こそは絶対に優勝したいなと思ってます。
J リーグとはもう全く別物の大会だと思ってますし、環境、そして相手、レフェリングもそうですし、全てにおいて J リーグとは全く異なる大会だと思ってます。もしかすると ACL の方がやりやすかったりもしますし、個人の能力戦術がうまくはまる大会なのかなというふうに思ってますけども、この大会の醍醐味はやっぱり過密日程の中でもチームがまとまって一つ一つ勝っていくことで、またチームが進んでいく上で勝ちを得て前に進んでいく、進化していく楽しさがある大会だと思ってますんで、僕も長年ねこの大会経験させてもらってますけども、自分自身もこの大会を経て殻を破ることもできてますし、ものすごくねこの大会を通してヴィッセル神戸が強くなる、そういうね自信があります。日頃から監督が言っている球際だったりハードワーク、そして切り替えのところ、そういう一つ一つの試合の中で起こり得るバトルの局面のところでやっぱり勝敗を分けるポイントだと思ってますんで、そこをねこの大会を通して、チームが強くなる上で、J リーグの方にもね持っていければいいのかなというふうに思ってます。はい、僕がこのチームからオファーをいただいた際に、ヴィッセル神戸がアジアでナンバーワン取りたいっていう話も伺いました。その話にね僕も賛同してこのチームにやっていきたい、このチームで結果を残したいという思いで、このチームにやってきましたので、とにかくチーム全体が選手だけじゃなくてフロント含めてチームがそれを合言葉にやってるっていう意味でもすごくねそこに対してピッチから表現できればなというふうに思ってますし、日頃から選手がね口々にアジア取りたいとかアジアでナンバーワンになりたいっていうことも言ってるぐらいのチーム力ではありますので、とにかくこの大会にヴィッセル神戸が出ること、そしてこの大会で旋風を巻き起こすこと、はい、それはねこのチームが一番アジアでいいサプライズを起こすねきっかけになればいいかなというふうに思ってます。
Looking for the perfect Arvo snack? Grab a Macca's hamburger for just $2. Or get the legendary Chicken McBites for $3. Whatever you're snacking on, do it with Macca's best ever loose change menu.
Hey.
Hey. What are you feeling tonight?
I'm easy.
Before you choose junk food, think about what's really on the menu. Eating it too often can make you put on excess body fat, and that increases your risk of 13 different types of cancer. And the longer you carry excess fat, the greater your cancer risk. Don't treat junk food as everyday food.
At this time of the year, we're at the mercy of the elements. And while I love it out here, there's nothing like leaving the outside right where it belongs.
What would you do if you could be normal?
I would find a cure for us.
After years, it's finally possible. You did it. You found a cure. No, Milo. It's a curse.
What happened to you?
Something inside of me wants to hunt. You can't stay here. It's not safe.
Michael, this is your chance to set things right.
Are you here to heal the world or to destroy it?
I don't know.
Morbius in cinemas March 31.
This is a great day for New York. Together, we are taking a step forward into our future.
Power belongs to old New York, my dear, not the new.
Perhaps the time has come for a new chapter.
I'm tired of being cut on my own doorstep.
This does not impress the people you want to win over.
This impresses everyone.
I heard 1,000 stories, but none could describe this place. It must be witnessed to be understood.
I admire your courage. You're gonna pick a fight you can't win before long.
The road west is filled with failures. We are in the land of no mercy now.
Flat white, please.
Yeah, sure. What size is that?
Medium. Let's go extra large. And a melting moment.
Go on, you've earned it with RAC member benefits. That's the power of membership. RAC, for the better.
Welcome back to the Misaki Park Stadium, the home of Vissel Kobe. Tuesday night football and a big playoff for the Asian Champions League. Melbourne Victory went behind in just the 6th minute to Andres Iniesta's second goal of this current season after netting his club's first in the J-League this term as well. But Victory struck back through their in-form striker Nick D'Agostino in the 12th minute. Vissel Kobe lost their Spanish midfielder Sergi Samper midway through that first half, succumbing to a self-inflicted, it looked like, knee injury. Hopefully nothing too serious for him. Ogihara came in to replace him. Vissel Kobe dominating possession, dominating territorially, but Melbourne Victory with two great chances. A Brillante shot that was blocked and a D'Agostino header tipped over the bar by Ikura. They could easily have seen the A-League side in front. And the second half is underway. Make no mistake, if Victory were to knock out Vissel Kobe, it would be a fantastic result not only for Tony Popovic's side, but also for Australian football to have 3 sides back in the group stages of the Champions League. Andy Harper, the first half wasn't easy, but it certainly showed that it can be done.
Yeah, they were off to a very nervous start. Iniesta's goal really put Victory back on their heels, and they defended that particular sequence really nervously. But the goal they got was a soft one off the corner. And then from then on, they fought really hard. They defended in good numbers together. They were very well organised defensively, Melbourne Victory, which was terrific. They'll need to get more joy with the ball, or it's going to be a very long and grinding second half. And they didn't enjoy much possession at all. Very panicked when they did get the ball.
It's immediately Vissel Kobe in possession. And onto the front foot, and again it's the number 8, Andres Iniesta, who's pulling the strings. Even with just one touch, he seems to be directing where the ball goes, where his teammates should run, as Davidson with one over the top for D'Agostino to chase. Just overhit. Yamakawa, the right back. We saw a lot of Sakai, the left back, in that first half. Here he is in possession again. Another early cross looking for Oda. Sakai, Yamaguchi's overlapping run. Here's Iniesta. Yamaguchi, Iniesta. Sakai, that's cleverly done. Oda was looking back for Sakai. It was well read. Ogihara wins it straight back. Nakasaka. And the cross close to Matt Acton. They must be enjoying being back on the pitch in a competitive environment for Melbourne Victory.
Well, it's a good stage to make your return to the team.
Be careful. Victory playing their way out of a high press. '29-year-old keeper Matt Acton made 16 appearances last year. Actually spent a full season with Kaya FC. Andy back in 14-15, who Sydney defeated to qualify for the knockout stages. Well read by Miranda. Oh, the touch is a little heavy one. D'Agostino has found Economides. D'Agostino still getting forward. Davidson, oh, and that wasn't well played. There was really something on there. And the number 3 for Vissel Kobe, Yuki Kobayashi, has stayed down after that collision more than anything with D'Agostino.
You called that well, Robbie. It was really a chance that came from nothing. Ouch. No wonder Yuki is licking his wounds. He was got good and proper. Great chance for Victory, and they never really looked like taking it. Really lacked conviction or understanding in that scenario who was to do what. 3 versus 2 attacking situation really should have yielded something more promising for Victory.
I know we don't like to talk about VAR, and we're not going to waste too much time talking about VAR, but I wonder if the VAR is actually working here this evening, because we had a couple of offsides that really looked very, very close.
Top left-hand side of the screen.
You're going to...
VAR not working, can't you read? You've been bluffing us this whole time.
That says Vissel Kobe 1, Melbourne Victory 1. Andy Harper, thank you very much. Yuki Kobayashi had to leave the field of play there because he received treatment without a yellow card being handed out. That's a good ball for Sakai. And a good run, really, more than a good ball. He's a real danger down that left-hand side.
Look, we've just marvelled at him in the international sphere. And he just motors up and down that sideline. Very difficult for the Socceroos over many years.
42 caps for Japan, and was one of the key members of this side that went all the way to the semi-finals 2 years ago in this competition, their first ever Champions League campaign. As here's Economides. Oh, just couldn't get the better of Kikuchi. Here's Sakai again. With Iniesta, finding space back again. Just overhead. Just can't quite find those passes to find the markers. Economides, who's clearly the Melbourne Victory player, playing the highest up the pitch.
They just can't get the settled possession, and
they seem to rush things when they get it. It's looking to break forward as quickly as possible.
And that's why, and look, there's no single solution, but you really need to be getting Jake Bremer on the ball as much as you can, because he's a single most likely Victory player just to be able to cope with the heat of the occasion and the pressure that your opponents put on you, because his technique is so good. It actually does literally buy you a little bit of space, but then also because of the good technique, the defenders back off a little bit because they don't want to get done in the one-on-one situation. That's, of course, what we see in reverse, facing up the Victory players against the Kobe players.
Oda, and the flag goes up eventually for offside. Osako clearly not in agreement. There's a little bit of pressure on Atsuhiro Miura at the start of this season. He took over in September 2020, had that remarkable year last year where he took them to their highest ever J-League finish of third, which is how they qualified for this playoff. As here's Economides up against Kobayashi. Brillante making the run from midfield. Oh, it was good strength, but he just couldn't keep it in play. The winner of this playoff match goes into Group J. As I mentioned, they'll be hosted in Thailand with Chiang Rai United, the host team, same as Melbourne City will be in Thailand as well, at the home of BG Pathum United, while Sydney FC will be in Vietnam, along with Jeongbuk Hyundai Motors, Yokohama F Marinos, and the host team Huang An Jia Lai. Yamaguchi, good challenge, Geria. They are being stretched though, already again Victory. There is extra time, if necessary. There is penalties, if necessary. Second corner of the match for Andres Iniesta. Oh, and the header from Kikuchi. The big number 17 centre back. And the first real chance of this second half.
Beautifully flighted corner again, and Kikuchi rose nicely in between the Victory players. Couldn't control the header.
Wasn't far away though.
Very close. He's a lump of a lad.
Now I've got Chris Economides. Who's stayed down. Oh, that doesn't look too good. Is it hamstring? Andres Iniesta is not happy. He wants to keep the game moving. They're the home side. They're the ones that are on top. They want to play with rhythm. Not saying that Victory don't, of course, but Victory's game plan, well, planned or enforced upon them, is to sit back, to try and transition quickly. Miranda just tells them to get forward. Now, our referee, Hannah Hattab of Syria, just telling Matt Acton that there's to be no time wasting. Now, is that...
That's a miss hit.
Miss hit, not time wasting.
But Iniesta, really interestingly, was onto it. It's only 56 minutes played. And suspecting gamesmanship from Economides. And it's lit the fuse with the referee, who took the cue and went straight up to Matt Acton and warned him about delaying the restart.
And unfortunately for Melbourne Victory, I don't think it was only time wasting or play acting or gamesmanship, if you like, because it looks as though Ben Falami is going to come into the game for Economides. Economides, who of course scored the goal that got Victory here. Fantastic winner in the FFA Cup final against the Central Coast Mariners. Oda, he's been lively. Nakasaka back with Ogihara, who's seen a lot of the ball since he came into the game. Kobayashi with Sakai. Ogihara continuing his run, deflected cross and claimed by Acton. Victory still playing with 10 at the moment. They'd love to get the ball out of play, or rather try and attack, and if they can't, then see it go out of play as quickly as possible. But the longer it stays in, the longer they play a man down. Yamakawa with Nakasaka. Yamaguchi with Sakai. Osako. Sakai for Iniesta on the edge of the box. Sakai again. Nakasaka. Yamaguchi. Ogihara, Iniesta, patience again. And Sakai clattering in to Geria.
It was very good defending from Jace Geria. Shoulder to shoulder, there's no foul in that, but on the basis of his assessment, I probably agree with him on that replay. It should have been a corner because there was no foul committed.
So confirmation of that change. Ben Falami coming into the game. His last goal came against Sydney FC in that 2-2 draw. A spectacular match. Robbie Cruz on the score sheet as well. Sako stayed down there, but he's back to his feet. Nakasaka, overlapping run from Ota. It comes to nothing again. The flag providing the respite for Melbourne Victory. Long for Falami. Looks like that's a straight swap for Economides up front. It's a long ball that's picked off comfortably by the crimson shirts. Brimmer coming and trying to put some pressure on. Sakai. Ogihara. There's a real purpose about their possession play, isn't there? Moving, trying to pull Victory around. There's a focal point in Iniesta, but it's not only Andres Iniesta. Kobayashi. Osako. Yamaguchi. Nakasaka. Iniesta takes over.
But even that touch from Marchand. The Victory had forced the half error, win possession, and Marchand's first touch is back into Kobe defenders' feet. And they're back under pressure again. Clearly discernible difference between the teams. It's not a unique experience for the Victory players tonight.
Iniesta, free kick delivery. D'Agostino's header away, straight back to the Spaniard. That's a good challenge from Marchand. D'Agostino, they keep it alive. Great pressing, but that's well played by Guerilla. Falami, nicely done, looking for D'Agostino. Falami takes over again, space here on the left for Davidson. Brimmer, Davidson, Falami again. Can Victory hurt Vissel Kobe here? Brimmer, not with shooting like that.
Rushed it in the end, but that was better. Falami good off the bench. Fresh and energetic, a couple of good touches. Jason Guerilla positive in the initial exchanges as well.
We just saw there, it was all about surviving that initial 10 seconds in possession. Once you can put your foot on the ball, find a bit of space, make a couple of passes, you force the other team just to back off. Kura, long. And all of a sudden it's Victory winning the ball back on the halfway line.
Brendan Hamill's been outstanding for Victory tonight. His defending's been superb. It's my recollection that he was challenging the goalkeeper for the Victory goal. So he can claim that as well. He's been really good. Sporanovic has been good as well. Out for a bit with some hamstring trouble. It's good to see Matt back and moving freshly, and this is a very pressurised environment, so he's holding in well. They've defended well, Victory. This is the part of the game where they're showing some signs of improvement and not before time.
Here's Brimmer on the football, into the feet of Falami. His first touch got away from him a little bit, but it almost, in the end, worked into his favour. Here's Davidson with Brimmer. Brillante, Marchand, Brimmer, Davidson. It's well worked this again, but again it's just rushed the final ball from Jason Davidson. See the word from the Japanese bench there, just saying, stay compact, defend compact. Still plenty of purple shirts as Marchand does well. Rai Marchand wins the throw. Iniesta claims he caught a stray elbow there from Jason Davidson.
Jason picked up his yellow card for 3 challenges in 1 on Iniesta. Of course, they faced off in the Brazil World Cup. In Curitiba, 3-0 win to Spain. That's Baranovic was on the field that day as well. So they've had to see off Andres Iniesta in a competitive environment once before. They know how difficult it is. Maybe that's the backstory to Jason Davidson having 3 goes at him in that one sequence to get his yellow card.
Well, by the looks of things, he caught him more that time off the ball, because Iniesta was not a happy camper. And the fact that Davidson is sitting on a yellow, well, is that Iniesta was just trying to drive it home a little bit more. It's another clever little touch. Even when he knows he won't be able to get away, it's just a superb touch to make space to be able to get away in the future. Ogihara. Spraying the ball out left with Sakai. Osako. There's another who's worked hard all night up front without really having a sighting on goal. It's been a problem for them this season. Just 3 goals scored in 6 matches, 9 conceded in the J-League so far. There's the ball in from Yamakawa. They've got it straight back again. Iniesta. Relante, who stuck to his guns there. It is a dangerous game when you're midway through the second half and you're just giving the ball back again and again, despite that good little spell of 3 or 4 minutes that Victory had. Just announcing the crowd over the loudspeaker here inside the Misaki Park Stadium. Marchand with Guerrero. The time it's Hamill that just gives it straight back to Sakai. Ikura. He should have been perhaps troubled a little bit more in this second half than he has. There were a couple of half chances that Victory just didn't take all the way to the best conclusion they could have had. Osako inviting Kikuchi forward. Oh, that's a good pass. Real pace and purpose on that ball into the feet of Oda.
Now, Oda's been sort of busy without really being dangerous, apart from the opening exchange, which led to the Kobe goal.
That was a great ball from Miranda, and now Fulami taking on Kikuchi, the square ball, and D'Agostino's done it. And just when you were starting to wonder how long Victory could hang on, they have gone up the other end and stung Vissel Kobe on the counter-attack. And D'Agostino is the man that scores again.
Well, some space for Brillante. You just thought he might have left that pass a bit short, but Falami off the bench has been outstanding. And what a drive from Ben Falami. Deep into the penalty area. Reeling it in before the byline. And squaring it for D'Agostino, for whom a Socceroos call-up can only be an email away. Remarkable for Victory. Iniesta can't believe it. Who, what, where?
Nick D'Agostino. That's who. 2 goals for the Victory marksman. What a season he is having. On his Champions League debut, a double against Vissel Kobe away, no less, and there's still 18.5 minutes left plus stoppages.
Well, we're very sorry for the injury to Chris Economides, obviously. We hope it's not too bad. But you have to say, since Falami's come on, the 2 or 3 times he's had the opportunity to contribute to Victory in possession has been very good. And what a piece of play by the young starlet then.
Even you can trace the start of the move, Davidson to Miranda, who didn't panic. Neither of those two panicked. They didn't give it away immediately. And then that space for Brillante in the middle of the park. There's a little nudge there from Spiranovic, and look out, there's space here. Osako, his shot tipped over by Matt Acton. And if you thought that it was all over bar the shouting, think again, because Vissel Kobe are only going to come back double-fold now.
Well, Miranda, the ball just happened to him off the deflection. It bounced off him.
Here it comes. Big leap from Kikuchi again. Davidson sees it out of play off Yamakawa.
And a nervous escape there for Victory, but Matt Acton, who hasn't had to save really anything, did well on that occasion. Osako didn't quite hit the ball truly, but it was good enough to be goal bound and worry the keeper, who steered the ball clear.
I mentioned a couple of times that run to the semi-final of the Champions League for Vissel Kobe. There was another player that A-League fans will know very well, who was a key part of that as well, Keijiro Ogawa, who is at Western Sydney Wanderers these days and played over 300 competitive matches for Vissel Kobe. Even picked up a Player of the Week award during the group stage, as did Yamaguchi during that campaign. Guerria does well. D'Agostino. Clever, just couldn't get away from Kobayashi. Now we'll see what Vissel Kobe's resolve is made of. There's no doubt they have the talent, but their heads are down in the J-League. They're still looking for that first win after 6 games without victory. Vissel, of course, which means victory. And just like Melbourne Victory, Kobe Victory.
Well, it's actually a combo, isn't it?
It's a combo word.
Yeah.
It's a combo word. Victory.
Maintain your standards, Robert.
And Vessel. And Vessel is a reference to the port of Kobe. All part of the history of the club, the Kawasaki steel that moved to Kobe in 1995, changed from the black and white stripes to the crimson. and Lincoln about to come into the contest. Just 20 years of age, the Brazilian. Flamengo player as that shot from distance. Marchand with Brimo, who's got himself in trouble, dispossessed by Iniesta. Iniesta driving at near post, and is Brimo hurt there, or is it a bit of cramp?
He looks to me to have just been struggling a little bit in recent moments. And he's stretched for this one and maybe aggravated. Iniesta shooting wide. Brendan Hamill there, closing the avenue to goal.
Well, it is cramp for Brimo. This is what the travel can do as well. You've got to be very, obviously, the players are hydrated and monitored, of course, and it looks as though it's Osako, the player who's going to make way for Lincoln. Iniesta taking on some liquids. There is the 21-year-old, sorry. Lincoln made 4 appearances in the J-League this season. He arrived last year, appeared fleetingly. He's into the game in the end to replace Nakasaka. Nakasaka and Yamakawa coming off, so the 2 right-sided players making way, and Hatsuse and Lincoln coming into the game. Well, the left-hand side was so dominant in that first half in particular, less so in the second, but in fact Sakai has switched flanks. Here's Lincoln's first touch. So Sakai is at right back now, and here's the first touch of the football for Hatsuse. Here he is again. The substitute looking for Ogihara. It almost fell for Oda. Here's Iniesta. Kikuchi outside again with Hatsuse. Big up and under. Oof. Davidson can't get a touch. Yamaguchi with Sakai. Gets it straight back. Iniesta. Oh, it's well played again. Falami gets there in cover though and concedes the corner.
It's a great chase from Falami. Interesting that Jason Davidson didn't feel as though he could intercept that pass. But backtracking as he was required then Falami to slide in.
Miranda, who started the move really for that second goal, heads away. Iniesta sends it straight back in. The header, fine save, Acton. Lincoln straight back in. Turn behind, appeals from Victory players.
Great work, Matty Acton. 2 good saves now. This definitely has saved Victory's bacon. That's outstanding work. And then looked to me to be off the peck of Brillante, the chest.
Hatsuse for Kikuchi again. And Osako, the Japan international, has got Vissel Kobe back on level terms. And the set pieces and the pressure just telling in the end. And Kikuchi again, he's a danger at every set piece.
Well, disappointing for Melbourne Victory. They've turned to the linesman, assistant referee, and a plaintive cry for offside. Hatsuse with the outswinger. No challenge on the header, and every other Victory player ball watching. And Osako ghosts in at the far post to tap home.
And we have to do it all over again. 10 minutes left. Marchand. Well, Vissel Kobe's goal-scoring problems have been sorted for this 90 minutes at least. Kobayashi and Kikuchi from set pieces are real threats every time. They have quality all over the pitch, but Tony Popovic's game plan was just about working a treat. With Davidson looking up the line again for D'Agostino. Sakai. Kikuchi in the end being fouled, I think. Another one for Osako to chase. Gets the cross in. Marchand heads away. Hatsuse, Iniesta. Well, he missed the target. What technique. I say that tongue-in-cheek, obviously.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's breathtaking, isn't it?
What a player. What a footballer, even at 37 years of age, in his 4th season in Japan. You can see that the brain is still working as fast as ever. Lee Broxham comes into the contest for his 9th Asian Champions League campaign. Replacing Brimmer, who can't go any further. Oda. Oh, now there's been something off the ball there with Hamill and Osako. Fulami. Broxham gives it away. He's being crowded out. Yamaguchi. Clever little touch, but Miranda sees it out of play for the goal kick. Well, we haven't seen what happened off the ball there between Hamill and Osako. Yamaguchi, Iniesta, Ogihara. Hatsuse. Oh, just overhit for Oda. Miranda, look at the Vissel Kobe players. 6 of them all in the final third. With a goal kick for Melbourne Victory. Just shows you that they are feeling positive. And they want to be positive in this final 5.5 minutes. Hatsuse against Brillante. Cross in is overhit. Guerilla. Can see Broxham and Brillante trying to stretch that midfield a little bit, but someone needs to go to the ball as well. Davidson. Miranda. Well played, Hamill. Up the line. No way past Sakai. Good player. Ogihara with Hatsuse. Oda. Kikuchi. Carter again, you can see Iniesta trying to get them moving, lift the tempo again. Now Marchand. Again, they just give it away too easily. Victory. 4 minutes left. Not only to hang on, but try and stun Vissel Kobe a third time. Sakai. First time, Yamaguchi. Sakai again, little touch, Lincoln. Give and go. Yamaguchi. Cross in near post. And that's a third goal, and it's Osako again. 2 goals in 6 minutes from the Japan international. And that could just about be curtains. There is still time for victory, but Vissel Kobe have come from behind and now lead.
Well, on the near post, Yuya Osako has too much time and too much quality. It was a beautiful ball hit in by Yamaguchi. And Sakai working in combination down the right-hand side. Yamaguchi with a beaut ball in. And Osako too good with that sort of space and from that sort of range.
Well, now, I mentioned it after Nick D'Agostino's second goal that we would see Vissel Kobe's resolve. Now we have to see Melbourne Victory's resolve. The problem is there's only 2 and a bit minutes left. In the 90, there will be stoppage time. And probably 4 or so minutes of it. No foul, says the referee. Iniesta with Lincoln. Yamaguchi back with Kikuchi. Ikura. Well, Victory have to press now. They have to press high, but it has to be organised, otherwise they'll leave themselves open. Hamill does well again. Davidson. Marchand. He's done that well. Rise the challenge of Osako. Here's Lee Broxham. D'Agostino making the run near post. At the back post, Guerrier getting forward. Falami's in the middle. Brillante's there as well. D'Agostino too. Rai Marchand. Early ball for Broxham. Little touch inside was mishit for D'Agostino. And Vissel Kobe can play it away. A rare loose pass from Andres Iniesta. Now there's a Vissel Kobe player down. Davidson plays on, and the header back, and D'Agostino so close. Falami now. It's still alive. Falami! He's done it! And it's all level again. Ben Falami in the 90th minute. And just when it looked dead and buried, Victory live again.
Well, the Kobe players were calling for Melbourne to stop the play, and they were not obliged to at all. Good save it was too from Ikura to deny D'Agostino. But what about Ben Falami off the bench, if you don't mind? An assist for the ages and an equaliser to match it. Somehow Victory have stayed alive in the Champions League.
And now 4 more minutes to show us how much they want it. certainly extra time will not be what either coach really wants. Not with all the travel involved for Tony Popovic's side, of course, and that derby game coming up, but just feel the big continental nights, they have a special flavour, these matches.
Just incredible, really. Two very good goals this half scored by Melbourne Victory. Really good goals. And just quite remarkable that they stayed alive until now. Still time for another twist.
And there's another corner as Lincoln tries to pump up the crowd, and these corners are dangerous. The number 3, Yuki Kobayashi, and above all, the number 17, Ryo Kikuchi. There he is, have come forward. He's been dangerous at every corner in this match, as there's going to be another substitution. Koya Yoroki into the game to replace Oda. Hatsuse to the edge of the area. Yamaguchi deflected. Well, that could so easily have been another twist in the tail of this one. Matt Acton has made a couple of very smart saves. So too has Iikuri at the other end. There was a hand there. And is this the moment?
Well, Tony Popovic has sent the troops forward.
Hamill and Miranda.
It's all on this. Lee Broxham stealing another couple of yards. He's taken some liberties there.
Now, I did look through the rule book earlier today to just confirm the extra time. D'Agostino standing offside. Davidson's ball towards Geria. Kikuchi. Here's Marchand. Deflects off Lincoln, who gets to his own rebound and clears long and high. Davidson back in. And the substitute, Yuroki, gives it away. Throw in for Melbourne Victory. Hatsuse leaves it. Referee, the Syrian referee, Hana Hatab, blows full time after a remarkable 90 minutes here in the Misaki Park Stadium. And we will now, ladies and gentlemen, have two more halves of 15 minutes each. Extra time. We could probably fit in about 4 more goals, given the way this one's going. And if it's still level at the end of 120 minutes, well, we will have penalties. What a thrilling finish to this one. Well, let's have a look at all the goals now. Andy Harper, it started in the 6th minute. Andres Iniesta, who's been for long periods of this match just running the show.
Yeah, sloppy defending to get things going. Nervous from Victory. And then the equaliser for Kobe, down 2-1 at this point, off the corner. And then the goal to give them the lead from Yuya Osako. And it looked like it was all done for Melbourne Victory at that point.
And the Japanese director clearly feeling hard done by.
The victory highlights have already been filed in the round bin.
Well, there were also, in this match, 3 goals for Melbourne Victory. 2 scored by Nick D'Agostino. The first from a corner kick that wasn't well dealt with by Ikura. The second, after fantastic counter-attack, length of the field stuff. Davidson, Miranda, Brillante, Folami, who got to the byline, squared the ball for D'Agostino to get his second. And then just when it looked, as Andy Harper just said, when Osako got that 3rd goal in the 87th minute, another ram raid up the other end of the field, where another header from D'Agostino was saved, and Ben Folami was on hand to just hammer the ball in off the underside of the crossbar. And now we're set for another half an hour, so make yourself comfortable. Referee was about to give us our start and get us back underway. Now he does. The first period of extra time with this playoff match. Currently locked at Vissel Kobe 3, Melbourne Victory 3. The twists and turns that second half had Andy Harper. We can only imagine as legs tire and brains tire a little bit more out on the pitch that there could be more action coming.
Well, you don't really know which way those cards are going to fall. Kobe playing at home and be getting into the swing of their season. 6 league matches and various cups underway, so they're probably fresher. But Victory, it hasn't been an arduous season. It's been very disrupted.
As here's Lincoln, back for Ogihara.
But only 14 games in, plus the cup run. Not as though they're on the back of a 35-game season and starting to show the wear and tear. So it's really set up nicely. Victory have done incredibly well here. And Folami off the bench, just phenomenal, really, just phenomenal.
Well, he's been having a remarkable season as well. Brendan Hamill's been good at the back, as you noted in that second half. Andy Harper as well. And the Kobe fans have been good as well. Hatsuse with the corner. This is clearly one of their strengths. It's towards Kikuchi again. The header away by Sporanovic. And Sakai going for goal of the season. Misses everything. Matt Acton. What a return to the fold it's been for him. There's no Ivan Kalava, of course, or Francesco Margiotta, who both fell foul of the 3 foreigners rule. The 3 foreigners in this case being Rai Marchand, Roderick Miranda, and a certain Marco Rojas, who's on the bench as well, the Kiwi international. Iniesta looking for the big switch of play. Yuruki helps it on its way for Hatsuse. Up against Geria. Taking him on, gets the cross in near post. And too many flicks. Not enough decisive touch from Yuruki and Osako. It goes again though, number 16, and it's going to be a corner. As Brillante and Hamill got in each other's way. Hatsuse's ball in. Back out, driven in. Oof, Yamaguchi. Iniesta with Hatsutse. Iniesta again. They're trying to tease out Melbourne Victory. Osako. Yuruki. Hatsuse. Square ball for Iniesta. Oh, that's cleverly done. Square. Yuruki with the assist. And the Brazilian Lincoln, 5 minutes into extra time, has put Vissel Kobe back in front. It's his first goal for the club this season. What a time to score it.
Well, Victory's defence just picked apart here in Iniesta with that beautiful touch. Now, Hamill just misreading that. Unfortunately for him, he's had a great game, but he got sucked in to close the space, and he was just destroyed by that Iniesta pass. And that's the brilliance of the man. The sheer brilliance of Iniesta. And Lincoln on the spot to tap in from a yard. But one touch from Andres Iniesta has undone Melbourne Victory's defence.
What a touch it was. Just everything in the timing of it. The wrong footing. Everyone but his own teammate who was charging through into the box. Ikura taking his time. Nick D'Agostino letting him know what he thinks about the gamesmanship. It's back with Ikura again. 35 years of age. Ikura, another player who comes from Yokohama F. Marinos, over 200 matches for Hiroki Ikura. Now Roderick Miranda. Victory have been in this position before. Ben Falami up against Kikuchi. Very coolly done by the number 17. Now Victory can't just throw everything into attack.
No, got to stay alive. Plenty of time. I mean, they salvaged the draw deep in normal time. All hope looked lost. We've got plenty of time here.
In these situations, in these continental clashes against different footballing cultures, where you have to keep your head, stick to your game plan, stay focused, stay disciplined. Ray Marchand completely kicking out at Ogihara there. Referee could yet give him a booking for that, I fear. Yamaguchi can't find Sakai. Well, it was an easy finish for Lincoln, who's struggled a little bit so far this season. Yamaguchi. Davidson with Brillante, does that well. Riding Osako, but then can't find D'Agostino. Iniesta. He's also paced himself superbly in the match as well. Game management, the touch, the vision. It's everything we expected. Obviously, those who are regular viewers of the J-League knew what to expect as well from such a quality footballer. Now Davidson. Foul by Kobayashi. Robbie Cruz about to come into the game. So too Birkin Kirdar and Stefan Nigro. So a triple change. You're allowed to make 6 changes now that we've gone to extra time. There's 1 extra substitution that gets added to the list. As Guerilla drives the ball in. Well, that's where Victory have been good, taking those half chances that come their way. Marchand with Brillante. Folami. Guerilla. It's behind Hamill, but they've given it straight back again. Davidson. Miranda. Broxham. Back with Spiranovic. Marchand's clever little touch for Roderick Miranda. The Portuguese defender, but the pass is under hit. Yamaguchi didn't read it though. Now D'Agostino's gone down. Kikuchi went down as though he'd tripped him up and fallen over on him. That's what D'Agostino was nicely pointing out to the referee. Good challenge, Guerilla. A bit of urgency. D'Agostino. Oh, the pass not in the right timing for Folami. Three and a half minutes left in this first extra time half. Nikura. The home side are in front, they can take their time. They can try and wind down the clock. Oh, was Sakai a little bit lucky that time, possibly. Didn't look like there was too much from Lee Broxham. As here comes that triple change, and D'Agostino makes way. Great match from him. Great period for him as Cruz, Nigro and Kirdiar come into the game. Yamaguchi still fighting for everything, still making himself available. Miranda straight out of play. That's Baranovic. D'Agostino and Rai Marchand. The players Sakai. As Jason Guerria has moved into Sparanovic's role in that back three, with Negro at right wing back now, so staying with 5 at the back, at least for the time being. Broxham. Hamill for Stefan Negro. Here's Miranda. Striding forward. Davidson is behind everyone. Confirmation of that change with Cruz on for D'Agostino. Now Tony Popovic is going to have another couple of minutes in a huddle on the sideline to try and explain to his troops during the changeover what they need to do, how they can try and change things up, best use the fresh legs that have come on as well. There's 1 minute of stoppage time. Yamaguchi, Lincoln through the legs of Kiradar. Hogihara. Kobayashi with Hatsuse. Hogihara again. Relante trying to put the pressure on as it's belted into Stefan Negro. Lincoln's goal in the 5th minute of this first extra time period separates the two sides in this Asian Champions League final playoff match. 6 matches being played across the continent this evening for the final 6 places in the group stage to be played in hubs across the continent in a 2-week period from April 15th till May 1st. And Vissel Kobe, after the whistle goes to end this first period of extra time, currently hold a slender advantage over Melbourne Victory. It's been an absolute thriller. And with 15 minutes left and the spectre of penalties still a very real possibility, Vissel Kobe leading Melbourne Victory by 4-3.
Well, it was a similar first period of extra time as to the 2 halves that preceded it, really. Vissel Kobe, the dominant team, controlling pretty much the game, certainly in possession. That's just an amazing bit of play. So efficient, just summed it up, saw the space that was available. Defender in the half position. In this case, it was Brendan Hamill, and it's not a criticism of Brendan. He just got beaten by a brilliant touch. And then Lincoln on the spot, off the bench. The former Flamengo player to tap home for 4-3. But it's not as though the goal, the 4th goal for Kobe, demonstrated a change in the pattern of the game. So the positive thing for Melbourne Victory is, you know, we just got to stick to our guns and be incisive when we get the chance. We've been able to do it on 2 of the 3 occasions we've scored. The first goal, of course, came from the corner. But the other 2 goals they've scored have been excellent play. So they must believe, with good reason, that they can still get something out of this game.
the game plan has been working, has worked so far. They're still in this contest long into the night. 2 hours earlier in Japan than it is in the Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, as Marco Rojas comes on to replace Josh Brillante. And that is the final change. It is Kirdar, Hamill, Miranda, back with Acton. Falami's touch is an excellent one with Broxham. Davidson up the line. Robbie Cruz looking for the little flick. Sakai dispossessed. And Victory have it back again. Yamaguchi. Sold the dummy by Davidson, but still so full of running. They're just swarming around the home side. Sergi Samper, the 27-year-old, watching from the stands after he went off midway through the first half with a knee injury. Osako. Lincoln rides the challenge. Iniesta again just probing and pushing his teammates around with his passes. Ogihara, Iniesta against Rojas and Broxham. Sakai. A little touch from Atsuse, helped out by Yuruki. Iniesta again. Inviting Yamaguchi forward. Oh, he's been caught heavily there by Miranda. Kirdar forward for Robbie Cruz. Closed down by Kikuchi. Now Davidson. Davidson's cross. Couldn't find Stefan Negro all alone at the back post. And Yamaguchi is back on his feet. Davidson, that's a good ball. Good pace. Robbie Cruz fouled by Sakai. And I think he's saying it's his first foul.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's his first foul. He's been great tonight, yeah. Sakai. But Cruz was away. It's a clear yellow card. But he's been enormous, really. What a game. A good turn from Robbie Cruz. Some Christmas in the Melbourne Victory passing. Start this final period of the match. Second half of extra time.
Well, this is when it has to happen now. 12 minutes left. It's now or never these last 12 minutes. There's the ball in. Oh, and Broxham. Guerrier first and then Lee Broxham with gilt-edged chances to tie this one again.
It's a really dangerous corner from Jason Davidson, and Guerrier takes a lot of attention. It comes on Lee Broxham really quickly, difficult to control. But it was still a good enough chance, given the stakes and given the stage.
Set pieces have been decisive so far. Almost were again there. Stefan Negro trying to run off that little knock. He's getting forward now. Here's Cruz. Stays on his feet. It's going to be a free kick. Referee tried to leave some advantage. Now, the last free kick from this kind of territory was excellent from Jason Davidson.
What a good fight they're putting up, Melbourne Victory. Really good fight. Pushing this one right to the end.
Rojas steps over. Davidson's ball in. It's another good ball in. It's there. Broxham blocked by Sakai. Still in the area. Broxham still. Wow, the referee put the whistle in the mouth that had free kick written all over it. And he didn't blow.
Well, that caught me by surprise. Broxham again at the far post. You could just see, you could see it going, the gears going through Lee's head. Right, I've got another chance here. I'm getting this one on target. And he steadies himself. Look at the concentration. And he does get it on target. But only the defender, Sakai again, to deny him. I think it was a foul on the edge of the box as well, Robbie. Full of admiration for the way Victory have come back into this game and are now really pushing it right to the wire.
Oh, there are a few tackles flying in. Iniesta's down. You would have just seen in that last replay that the stand behind the goal where Matt Acton is keeping is largely empty. There are actually a few Melbourne Victory fans in attendance this evening. There are a couple of Australian flags. There's the challenge. Is it Kiradar?
It was on Concurta, but I think he kicked the ground. I don't actually think he got Iniesta. Another fabulously experienced Japanese international.
New this season as well. They broke the piggy bank over the summer again to bring in plenty of new faces. Tomoaki Makino, 34-year-old. He's also been on the score sheet this season, even though he has been restricted mostly to coming off the bench. Lincoln. With Yamaguchi again. Here's Iniesta. Hatsuse. There. Hatsuse still. Oh, and he's been bundled over by Broxham. Free kick. Hatsuse is the man that delivered the corner for that third goal. It's been a rare attack in the last 10 minutes or so. The ball in is a good one. Guerria's header as well. Fantastic defensive header. He's done that well though. Yuruki. Hatsuse flags up for offside. They need the ball back. Melbourne Victory, they need it up the other end. Possession in this one, 73% in favour of the home side. Melbourne Victory have had to do an awful lot of running. Kidar with Negro. It's a good ball for the danger man Falami. Kobayashi does well. Shots on target, 7-5 in favour of Vissel Kobe as Andres Iniesta hands over the captain's armband. With 5 minutes to go, he's made it through 115 minutes. Enough is enough, and it is Makino who's coming on. Started out at Sanfrecce, played in Germany, again another one with FC Köln. And then Urava, Red Diamonds, again for the most recent large chunk of his career. Blocked by Hatsuse. Oh, that's so frustrating when you're into these final minutes. Fourth official getting in Iniesta's bad books down there on the sideline, saying he's got to go up into the stands to sit down. Well, he's been vigilant on the time wasting. Rojas's little touch, full army. Does well, yellow card for Hatsuse. Robbie Cruz, full army. Oh, he's done well to get it out to Broxham. Intercepted by the indefatigable Gotoku Sakai. Appeals from the Victory players that Asako had handled there. Sakai again. Yuruki. He's been lively since coming on, providing that assist for the fourth goal. Robbie Cruz. Here's Garia. Stefan Negro. Rojas. Clever little ball. Cruz into the area. Oh, and the flag's up for offside.
That's frustrating. It would have been tight. Again, you've got to admire just the composure and the appetite for victory to have stayed in this contest and to be pushing so hard at the end.
Oh, he's another of the national heroes. 38 caps, 4 goals for Japan. Makino. Hatsuse. Down the line. Osako. Had another good game. Toiled so hard, rewarded with 2 goals in the end. Here he is with Hatsuse. Offside again. So this is it. 90 seconds left. Maybe another minute of stoppages. If Victory want to send this one to penalties, they need to score a 4th goal. Kirdar with Broxham. Gets away from Lincoln only just. Geria decides it's time to go long. Great pace, great running again from Ben Falami. Well, Stefan Negro didn't seem to want to take the throw. He does now. Kirdar. Rojas. Nice turn. Falami just runs away from him. He got a touch in there. Miranda appeals for a handball from Miranda only. Rojas tackled on the edge of the area. And the good old-fashioned topo just about from the edge of the box, Miranda.
Desperate. Again, good from Miranda, forcing the issue. Couldn't quite get the decision from the referee.
Ball in behind. Davidson. He's done well. Finds space. Ball in towards Miranda, who was there. He was unmarked. Rikura makes the claim, and the 120 minutes are up. Davidson's header. Kikuchi winning it to the last in the air. 1 minute of stoppages. 30 seconds of that have already expired. Acton long. Falami with Davidson. Back for Falami. Cleared. Robbie Cruz has stayed down, holding his knee. They've already lost to Economides. They don't want to lose too many on the pitch here in Kobe. It's all over at the end of 120 epic minutes of playoff football. It was Lincoln's goal in extra time that settles this one in favour of the J-League giants. Vissel Kobe. A courageous performance from Victory, who stunned Vissel Kobe in the second half to lead, and then when it looked like they were finished, came back to equalise again at the death. But in the end, Vissel Kobe are the side that will join Melbourne City and Sydney FC in the Champions League group stages this season. It's finished at the Misaki Park Stadium. Vissel Kobe 4, Melbourne Victory 3 after extra time. And Andy Harper, it was an excellent performance from Melbourne Victory. They really gave it everything. They've got nothing to be ashamed of from that performance, but they just couldn't get over the line.
No, it was a great night's entertainment on a Tuesday night. The Melbourne Victory went, as most Australian teams do, into Champions League football against Japanese opposition as clear underdogs. And they fought brilliantly for an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half, and came from behind late to keep their hopes alive, but unfortunately conceding early in the extra time made things very, very difficult, but so impressed with the way they maintained the rage right till the end. And a little bit of a reminisce from Kuratuba, I'm sure, Iniesta and Jason Davidson. What a night out for Melbourne Victory. Made their supporters, I'm sure, very, very proud. And to have died at the sword being held by Andres Iniesta is no disgrace.
Well, no disgrace whatsoever for Melbourne Victory. That's it from us then, from myself, Robbie Thompson, and Andy Harper, and everyone here at 10 Football from Misaki Park Stadium. We bid you good night after a thrilling 7-goal match of football. Bye-bye, everyone.